The city never promised him anything. In the cracks of the pavement and the corners of forgotten alleys, he learned early that survival wasn't something handed out. It was earned, scraped for, fought over. He wasn't born into a family of riches or even decency. He was born into chaos, raised in it, and taught by it. While some boys played with toys, he played with hunger. Real hunger. The kind that makes your vision blur and your hands shake. The kind that makes you see the world like a battlefield, where everything is either a threat or a tool. He didn't look special. No sparkling eyes, no shiny teeth. But inside there was a furnace burning. Every insult, every door slammed in his face, every moment someone looked through him like he didn't exist. Those became coal for the fire. He started hustling before he could spell the word. Selling whatever he could, fixing broken phones for lunch money, betting on street races, flipping old bikes. He didn't want attention, he wanted options. One day he told himself, no one's coming, so I better arrive. And he did. Step by step, dollar by dollar, he clawed his way into rooms he once only saw on stolen TV time in a neighbor's apartment. He studied people, not books people. The way they moved, how they made decisions, what they feared. He mastered silence, charm, and strategy. And by the time anyone realized he didn't belong, he already owned part of the room. But life isn't a straight line. The rise doesn't come without the crash. Just when his name started to mean something, the accident came. Steel, glass, sirens. And then silence. When he woke up, the fire in his legs was gone, but the one in his chest, it was louder than ever. People whispered, he's done. Doctors said, just. Old friends vanished like morning fog. But he didn't ask for their pity. He didn't need legs to move. He needed will. And his will was titanium. He went digital. He built apps, sold ideas, invested in things most couldn't even pronounce. And when the money started flowing like a broken fire hydrant in July, the same world that once ignored him now couldn't look away. From a broken cot in a one-room apartment to private jets with his initials stitched into the seats, he had arrived. But it wasn't the wealth that defined him. It was the war. The internal war, the street war, the silent war. He'd won them all. Not because he was lucky, but because when life locked the doors, he learned how to build new ones, and he didn't knock. He kicked them open. She walked in like she owned the room. Heels clicking, voice sharp like fresh scissors, eyes scanning for weakness. And when she saw him, slouched in a rusted wheelchair, hoodie faded, fingers trembling from cold or maybe nerves, she laughed. Not the kind of laugh that fills the air with warmth, no. The kind that slices, that humiliates. That says, yo, you want healing? What do you have to offer? Leftovers. He remembered the way her lip curled. How she held that smoothie like it was a wine glass, her energy dripping in judgment. He was there because someone told him she was a healer, a so-called modern-day energy reader, a woman of divine vibrations. Desperation will make you knock on strange doors. But he was trying everything. Doctors gave him facts, she promised miracles. Or at least that's what the website said. Why would I waste my gift on you? She giggled, like the idea itself was a joke told at her table. I don't do charity cases. Heal you for leftovers, she said, waving her hand like she was swatting away an insect. The room was full of incense and fake peace. But her heart, stone cold. That's the moment he realized not all poison comes in bottles. Sometimes it wears lipstick and sells hope for a price. She didn't see the man behind the broken chair. She didn't see the mind sharper than any business analyst, the soul harder than any diamond forged in pressure. She didn't see potential, only pity. But he saw her clearly. Behind all the crystals and filtered selfies, she was addicted to validation. She needed to be worshipped. And when she couldn't feel superior, she got nasty. He left without another word, no clapback, no drama, just silence. But deep down, her laugh became a scar, a sound he couldn't forget. That single moment fueled something in him that nothing else had. She thought she was mocking a cripple. What she really did was awaken a predator. Because sometimes life doesn't throw enemies your way, it throws mirrors. She reflected everything he hated, everything he vowed to rise above. While she was busy crafting illusions for the desperate, he was out there building reality, brick by brick, deal by deal, silent, focused, strategic. And here's the twist no one saw coming years later. At a gala dripping in wealth, her voice echoed from the crowd. Is that him? She gasped, recognizing the man in a sleek custom wheelchair surrounded by investors, artists, and kings. The same man she once reduced to leftovers. Only now he was serving the world a full, course feast. She smiled nervously, tried to laugh again, lighter this time, less venom, more regret. But it was too late. He didn't need her approval, he never did. The tables hadn't just turned. He bought the whole restaurant. The wheelchair wasn't just a chair, it was a throne. Not because it glittered or turned heads when he rolled into a room, but because of what it meant. It meant war had been declared on his body and he survived. It meant the world knocked him down and he refused to stay there. The chrome wheels moved smoothly across marble floors now, polished by power and patience, not pity. But people still stared. Not because he was paralyzed, but because he ruled while sitting. His office sat on the 51st floor of a tower his company had built, designed with ramps and doors wide enough for his kingdom to never feel like a cage. Gold trim on the walls, touchscreen panels on every surface, digital assistants anticipating his next move. Executives twice his age sat at his meetings like students around a fire. He didn't yell. He didn't demand. His silence commanded. His words cut like contracts. And when he spoke, the room listened. Because he'd done the one thing most couldn't, he'd turned broken bones into blueprints. They say power is about standing tall. He disagreed. He believed power was about how you move, not with legs, but with purpose. He rolled into negotiations like a king rolling dice he already knew the outcome of. They tried to lowball him at first, tossing deals like scraps at a man they thought would be grateful for crumbs. But then they read the fine print. He didn't take crumbs. He owned the bakery. And then one day she appeared again. Not with louder this time, no jokes. No heels clicking like thunder. Just quiet steps and a flyer for her spiritual wellness brand. Broke now. Broken even more than he ever was. She tried to act like they hadn't met. Like she wasn't the woman who once scoffed at his existence. But the second their eyes locked, she knew. He remembered. He didn't gloat. He didn't mock. He didn't need to. Instead, he invited her to sit, offered her water, asked about her struggles. And just when she began to relax, thinking maybe he'd forgiven her, maybe even forgotten, he closed the meeting with one sentence. You laughed when I needed healing. And now you need help, but I don't deal in leftovers either. He rolled out, the door shutting softly behind him, not with anger, but finality. She wasn't just a ghost from the past. She was proof that time doesn't just heal, it exposes. People often ask him how he did it, how he climbed from nothing, built empires, all while the world assumed he was finished. He never answers with numbers or speeches. He just wheels to the edge of his balcony, looks out at the city that once ignored him, and smiles because he knows some kings walk, but the most dangerous ones don't have to, and so he sat there, on that high balcony above a city that once forgot his name, watching the skyline bleed into gold as the sun dipped behind towers he now owned shares in. The wind pressed gently against his face, whispering reminders of alleyways, hunger, betrayal, and that one echoing laugh. A sound that once haunted him, now just background noise to a life well played. People still talked, they always would. Some said he was lucky, others called him ruthless. A few whispered about the man in the chair, like he was some urban legend. But none of them really knew. They didn't know the nights he screamed into his pillow, the days he couldn't lift his own body, or the war he fought behind his eyes. They saw the money. They didn't see the miles. He didn't need their applause. Their silence was loud enough as the city buzzed beneath him, cars honking, screens glowing, lives unfolding. He lifted a glass of dark, expensive silence. Not in celebration, not in revenge, just in reflection. The journey,